Hey everyone, welcome to Breathe and Unpack. I'm Maya, and this is our space to slow down, breathe, and talk honestly about the things life throws at us. Here, nothing is off limits. Relationships, family, work, stress, and personal struggles. Sometimes we'll vent, sometimes we'll reflect, but every time we'll ask, what can I take away from this? You're not just listeners, you're part of our support system. That means we share, we listen, we learn, and we leave the judgment at the door. And if you need to cry or get emotional here, that's okay too. This space is built for honesty. If you've got a story you want to share or something you're unpacking in your own life, email me at breathe, the letter N, unpack at gmail.com. That's breathe and unpack at gmail.com. I might read it here on the show so we can all grow together. And just a quick note, this podcast is about personal opinions and experiences. It's not medical, legal, or therapeutic advice. So take a breath, lean in, and let's unpack life together. Welcome to the support system. You ever notice how as you get older, you start craving peace more than excitement? Like all that noise and back and forth just feels heavy now? That's kind of where I'm at. Learning how to protect my energy, who I give it to, and how to stop letting the wrong things drain it. I've been thinking a lot about energy lately, what it really means. People say protect your energy, like it's trendy, but it's deeper than that. Energy is the language your spirit speaks before your words do. It's how your presence feel when you walk into a room. It's the tone behind your silence, the vibe in your space, the calm, or the chaos you carry. And lately I've been wanting to shift mine, not because something's wrong, but because I can feel myself growing into a different version of peace. When I first started learning about boundaries, as I mentioned in my last episode, Boundaries 101, I realized my issues wasn't saying no. I've never had a problem with that. My challenge was learning when to stop jumping in, to stop trying to fix, explain, or involve myself in things that weren't mine to carry. Setting boundaries with myself was what I really needed to learn. Because boundaries aren't just about limits with other people, they're about managing your own energy, knowing when to pull back, when to listen, and when to protect your peace instead of your point. That's something I'm still practicing every day. Recently, I've been taking space from certain things, not out of anger, but for alignment. I haven't been posting much, just focusing on my business pages and spending more time figuring out me. I wanted to go within for a bit, do some soul searching, reflect on how I want to show up for myself and for others. It's not about quitting social media or cutting people off, it's about resetting. I've been noticing what feels heavy, what feels distracting, what doesn't bring me peace, and I think that's what growth look like. Knowing when it's time to pull your energy back so you can rebuild it stronger. Because once you've learned to set boundaries, the next question becomes, who do you actually let inside those boundaries? Who gets access to your time, your emotions, your space? That's what protecting your energy is, deciding who deserves to share it and who only drains it. After I posted on Instagram that this episode would be about energy, one of my listeners sent me a long email. They said it was okay to share, and I want to thank them for sharing with us today. They told me there was a time when they gave everything, time, money, energy to everyone around them. But when life hit hard, when they lost their job and ended up homeless, those same people disappeared. No one offered help. Some even kept calling, still asking for favors. They said that season changed them. They stopped giving unlimited access to people who never showed up for them. They started paying attention to how they felt after each interaction, what left them heavy, what left them light. And they said something that stuck with me. When I had nothing, I saw everything. Sometimes it takes losing everything to see who was really with you and who was only there for what you could give. They weren't bitter, they were aware. They said, now I choose peace over explanation. That's the kind of growth that changes your life. Then there's my friend. She had someone close to her for years, someone she thought would always be in her life. But that friendship started bringing chaos instead of comfort. This friend constantly pulled her into drama, legal issues, family tensions, work problems, even cross lines in relationships. If my friend mentioned someone she liked, somehow that same person would end up with her friend. It wasn't about love, it was about control and attention. And through all of it, my friend kept helping, giving rides, lending money, listening, cleaning up the mess, until she finally realized she was the only one giving, the other person was just taking. She told me I had to love her enough to let her go, because staying close was breaking me. That takes strength, because protecting your energy from strangers is one thing, but from someone you love, that's another kind of bravery. Not every relationship has to end like that. If someone's willing to listen, take accountability, and learn from how they show up in your life, that's different. We're all human. We all make mistakes, but growth requires awareness. If they care enough to protect your peace with you, that's worth keeping. If they don't, if the pattern stays manipulative or draining, then it's okay to create distance. Sometimes love means giving space, not constant access. That's why I've been learning to talk about boundaries and energy openly with friends, family, and the people I care about. If they truly love you, they'll listen. They'll try to understand, because people who value your peace will never guilt you for protecting it. And lately, I've noticed something. Some people are realizing I'm not stepping in the same way I used to. I'm not adding my 2 cents to everything. I'm not jumping in to fix or over explaining why I made a choice. I'm just letting people figure things out for themselves. That's been growth for me, learning that everyone deserves their own process. I've been respecting other people's boundaries while reinforcing my own. And that's new for me, to give space without guilt. Sometimes even family can test that balance. I remember one day I was out running errands, just a normal day, and this woman started talking to me while I was pumping gas. She looked tired, like life had been weighing on her for a while. She started venting about her family, about how every time she tried to help, they turned it back on her. How she felt like she was always the one holding everyone together, but no one ever checked on her. She said she was drained, tired of being a go to for everyone else, with nothing left for herself. And I just listened. As bad as I wanted to give advice, I knew that moment wasn't about me fixing anything. It was about her being heard, so I just listened. When she finished, she said she didn't even know why she shared all of that with me, but that my energy felt calm, like I was easy to talk to. She said I was a good listener and thanked me for it. Told me she felt lighter after venting. I thanked her for sharing and told her I understood and I wished her the best. She was drained and she just wanted an ear. That's what I took from that moment. Not every situation needs advice, and not every story needs a fix. Sometimes people just want to feel seen, and that's when I realized protecting your energy isn't always about walking away. It's about showing up without absorbing everything. It's about being present, but not plugged into their storm. I received another email that stood out to me. It was from a woman who said protecting her energy completely changed her marriage. She said she used to argue about every little thing, small habits, words, tone, timing, until one day she realized most of those arguments weren't even about the issue itself. They were about both of them being tired and emotionally drained. She said when she stopped reacting from exhaustion and started resting before responding, everything shifted. She started saying, "Let's talk when we're calm," instead of trying to win the conversation. And that changed the whole energy in their home. Her exact words were, "Peace started showing up once I stopped fighting for it." That stuck with me. Peace started showing up once I stopped fighting for it. Sometimes protecting your energy doesn't mean pulling away, it means communicating differently. Another person wrote in saying protecting their energy meant walking away from a job they once loved. They'd been there for years, steady pay, familiar faces, but the environment turned toxic. Every day felt like emotional quicksand. The gossip, the pressure, the silent competition. It started showing up in their health. They said they used to go home with headaches and no motivation. So they made a choice to leave, even without a backup plan. They said it was scary, but the peace they felt afterwards told them it was right. They wrote, "My peace was more important than my paycheck." That's powerful because protecting your energy doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes it looks like endings, like silence, like faith. And then there was another story from a guy who said he learned about energy through family. He told me his mom used to call him every day just to unload stress, gossip, frustration, all of it. And he thought being a good son meant listening no matter what. But over time, he realized he was carrying her emotions like they were his own. He said, "I started feeling angry all the time, and it wasn't even my stuff." So he began setting small boundaries. He'd still answer, but he'd say, "Mom, I love you, but I can't talk about that today." At first, she didn't get it, but over time, she did. And he said now their conversations are lighter, more meaningful, and more loving because he stopped absorbing her pain and started protecting his peace. That's growth, not just for him, but for the both of them. I want to thank everybody again for sharing their stories with us. Continue sharing it with us so we could breathe and unpack together. These stories reminded me that energy work isn't one size fits all. For some, it's listening without losing yourself. For others, it's letting go of what no longer aligns. And sometimes it's simply saying, "I love you, but I can't carry this with you right now." Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's sacred. It's how you keep your light steady. So when you do show up, you show up whole. I'm still learning. I'm learning to rest before I burn out, learning to pause before I react, learning to surround myself with good energy, people who respect my growth, who match my effort, who brings calm instead of confusion. And most importantly, learning that protecting my energy isn't about control. It's about care. It's about intention. I'm learning how to be calm energy myself, to walk into a space and bring peace instead of waiting for someone else to create it, to not bring chaos into people's lives, to respect their boundaries and their space, to allow people to figure things out on their own, to listen more and to think before reacting. Because sometimes the environment doesn't need to change, it's me who does. I was on a platform recently where the topic was bad energy, how sometimes you meet someone and something about their spirit just feels off. Not because they're rude, but because their presence feels unsettled. We were asked to describe what good and bad energy meant to us. My answer was simple. Good energy fills you, bad energy feeds off you. People started opening up about their own experiences. Some said bad energy comes from people who constantly compete or compare. Others said it comes from folks who only show up when they need something. And one person said something that really stayed with me. Sometimes the worst energy comes from you when you are drained and not taking care of yourself. That was real because protecting your energy also means protecting others from your unbalanced self. I saw a quote online that asked, how do you protect yourself from negative people without becoming negative yourself? I came across the comments because I thought about that question for a while. One of the comments I came across that I felt was really deep said, you don't have to match their energy, you just have to maintain yours. To me, that was very deep because that's what I've been learning. That peace isn't about running away from negativity, it's about staying grounded in who you are no matter what's around you. All of this ties back to what we've talked about this season: safe spaces, triggers, communication, boundaries, and now protecting your energy is the next layer of that same work. It's how you sustain your peace once you've built it, because peace doesn't just happen, it's something you maintain on purpose. Here's what I've been taking from all of this: protecting your energy isn't about isolation, it's about discernment. It's about knowing who brings calm and who brings confusion. It's learning to stop explaining why you need quiet. And it's realizing that peace isn't perfection, it's alignment. So before you give your energy away this week, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to peace or further from it? Am I giving from love or from habit? And who in my life truly fills me instead of feeding off me? One of the quotes that I love says, energy flows where attention goes. And it's true, whatever you feed will grow. So feed your peace, feed your calm, feed the version of yourself that feels whole. What I'm learning is that once you start protecting your energy, everything else begins to align. Your focus, your relationships, your purpose. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop surviving and start living. Protect your energy, protect your time, protect your peace. Because when you guard those things with love, you create a life that feels light, grounded, and free. Thank you for listening to Breathe and Unpack. If today's episode sparks something in you, share it with a friend, family member, or someone you think could use the conversation. You never know, it might be exactly what they need to hear. I'd also love to hear from you. Email me at breathe, the letter N, unpack@gmail.com. Again, that's breathe, the letter N for Nancy, unpack@gmail.com. Or connect with me on Instagram at breathe, AND, unpack. Whether it's your story, your takeaway, or just a thought you want to get off your chest, this space is for all of us. And just a reminder, this podcast isn't therapy or professional advice. I'm learning and growing right alongside you. These are real conversations meant to spark reflection and support, not replace the help of a professional. We're building the support system together. One breath, one story, one moment at a time. Until next time, take a breath, lean in, and let's keep unpacking.